Whoo! Man, that's rough looking right there. Law. So I'm down here at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. My son's got a Nationals basketball tournament, some kind of basketball tournament we're watching, and oh man, look at the brown grass. Hey, look at there. There's a little green grass. Now what the heck, man? That grass right there is green, and just right over there, that grass is brown. I'd be willing to bet there at one point in time was a big old dog turd right there. Matter of fact, it was probably one right there too, and right there. I'd probably be willing to bet that a dog hocked his leg up and took a leak right here. I'd almost be willing to bet on that. That's what a lot of these dark green spots are. Of course, I wasn't here to see it happen, but I'd just be willing to bet that's either dog poop or dog urine, and the nutrition part of it is showing off right now. So when we're this far south and coastal climate, you know, the ocean is right over there, we get into predominantly warm season turf. There's a little POA in there. That's Bermuda right there, dormant. You can actually see a little bit down in here starting to wake up. Probably had a little bit warm weather lately, and if you notice, it's a little closer to the curb. Come out here on the curbing, see that's more green out here. That's because the curbing heats up quicker. The soil right here heats up faster than, say, the soil out there. So obviously that's going to germinate a little bit, or not germinate, excuse me. That's going to come back to life or wake up faster than it would out there. Hey there, it's Pete with GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day today. And I know this isn't my normal setting. I'm usually at the shop or in my yard. At home back in North Carolina, but like I said, we're down here at the beach for my son who's got a basketball tournament, so enjoying a little bit of off time, a little chillaxing, taking it easy. Now, I hadn't made a video yet for Saturday morning, which you're watching it now, making this Friday, the day before, and I couldn't come up with anything to do down here. I got to thinking about something that we're about to start talking about, and that's Bermuda grass. Of course, we got plenty of it down here. You know, I'm getting ready to release a GCI Turf Heat Wave, which is a Bermuda grass seed. It won't be long and that'll be ready. And so I just want to kind of introduce you to that, tell you a little bit about Bermuda grass and the way I like to manage it myself. Now, you can go on the internet and YouTube and Google and Instagram and all that stuff, and you can find 100 different ways to manage Bermuda turf. I have a specific way that I like to manage it, especially if I were going to plant it in my yard and I were going to have a Bermuda yard. That's kind of how I want to show you throughout the course of this year how I would take care of it. So you know, at my shop right now, I've got the 4 different kinds of cool season turf planted out there. Mainly planned it just to show you what it looks like, and number 2, I just didn't want a big mud pit out in front of my shop, so I had to have something to cover it. Now, with that said, you know that it won't be long. We're going to convert that turf at the shop over to Bermuda grass. Just be sure and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to show you the whole process, start to finish, how to kill off what I got there. We're going to do a little bit more grading to fix a spot or 2 I got that's low, and then we're going to sow Bermuda grass seed. We're going to install irrigation, the whole 9 yards, so you don't want to miss that. So I think one of the big turnoffs about Bermuda grass is, especially in my 15 years of experience of dealing with common Bermuda in fescue yards, is they don't like the brown appearance that it puts on during the winter time. know, when the first frost comes, that Bermuda kind of goes to sleep and goes dormant and turns really brown. It looks like that over there. What I showed you earlier, just brown grass, and it's nothing wrong with it. It's not dead. It's not gonna come back. It's just gone dormant because it's a warm season turf. It does not like the cold weather. It cannot tolerate those, you know, super cold weather and temperatures, and it just goes dormant, goes to sleep. Now what it does do is wake back up. When it warms up, the ground temperatures, the air temperatures warm up, that Bermuda comes back to life and gets its green color back. So I think that's one reason folks don't like Bermuda. They don't like that brown to green every year. Now another reason folks don't like Bermuda, at least from what I've heard from the dealings of people I've had with, is it spreads. It is a spreading type turf, which it has a very big positive, meaning it will self-repair itself, like Kentucky bluegrass, but way more aggressive. It'll spread and fill in bare spots. That's primarily, I think, the reason they use it on golf courses. You know, you take a divot with your 9-iron and you can come back later and that divot is filled in. Well, the problem with it being a spreading turf is it spreads everywhere. It'll grow up the side of a wall, it'll grow up the side of a rock, wherever it will grow. Heck, it'll grow out into an asphalt driveway and through the little cracks and start coming up in the cracks. It's a very, very tough, very hardy turf, especially when it's hot outside. It loves the heat. Now for me personally, the spreading part of it's not an issue. I can get in there and in my beds and I can pull it out by hand. Yeah, obviously it's going to keep coming back, but I mean, I'm a pretty persistent guy. If it's in my driveway, I can spray it with Roundup, and you know what I'm getting at. That part of it doesn't bother me. The part that does bother me personally is the brown. Man, you've seen my yard and you've seen the shop, so I like my grass green all year long. Of course, for fescue, that requires some watering and some disease control in the summer because it's cool season, doesn't like the hot heat. And then vice versa, the Bermuda's warm season and it's good and green during the summer and into the fall before that frost comes, and then it starts going brown. When it goes brown, that's where I have a problem. I can't deal with it. I don't like it. I know some folks that don't bother them, but when you ride up and down the roads down here at Myrtle Beach, there's brown grass everywhere, and it's all Bermuda. And then every now and then you come to a spot like this where it's green. Now no, this isn't quite as green as I like to see it, but I don't know the variety of ryegrass this is. I don't know the fertilization that's been on here. I'm just staying here for the weekend. I don't know anything about this, but this is not my idea of green in the winter. So it's a pretty common practice for Bermuda turf or athletic parks, golf courses, commercial hotel cottages, or whatever these things are. It's a common practice to take that dormant Bermuda, or not after it goes dormant, but prior to it going dormant, say around the September time frame, about the time you would aerate and overseed fescue. And there's a process they'll do. They'll come in, they'll cut the Bermuda down real short, and then they'll overseed it with ryegrass. Now what that does is that lets you have that color all winter. That's how I am going to manage the Bermuda grass at the shop. Is we're going to have a nice, pretty, lush, thick Bermuda yard during the summer, and right before it goes dormant, we're going to skin it down and we're going to overseed it with ryegrass. That'll be a GCI Turf Ryegrass. Of course, that'll be end of this year, 2020, before that's ready, just in time to overseed your Bermuda with. Now, here's the deal with overseeding your Bermuda. You just can't overseed it and then just let it go and forget all about it. Okay, the following spring, which we're March right now, early March, probably about beginning of May, I'm going to guess, that would be about when they would come in and they're going to have to spray this ryegrass out, meaning kill it. You want the ryegrass to die and go away. so that that Bermuda grass has room to come back in and wake up and fill in and all that kind of thing. The consequences to that is if you don't, if you leave this ryegrass here, the heat is naturally going to take it out. Okay, it cannot survive the hot summer. And then by the time the heat kills the ryegrass, it's a little too late for your Bermuda to have enough time to fill in and grow. So you catch it early, you spray it out, and that'll open the door for the Bermuda to take off. Now, a lot of you with Bermuda yards, you may already do this. You may know the process to a T. This is more directed to the person that don't know anything about it. They may want Bermuda. They may be tired of the heck with fescue. I'm not gonna fight it. Matter of fact, this year, this past September in our company, we switched over almost 22 yards, 23 yards over to Bermuda grass because they had so much of it. They were tired of trying to fight it. They just threw in a towel, said the heck with it, we're going to embrace the Bermuda and roll with it. And so that's kind of the whole reason of this whole series, is to help show those folks how they can have Bermuda, but at the same time how they can have green turf during the winter too. Now here's a real good spot right here where you can see this Bermuda right on the edge. What happened here, I'm guessing, again, I don't do any work here, I'm just staying for the weekend, and my guess is either the wind has kind of pushed this seed back or blew it off or something, or when they spread the seed they didn't get a good even coverage right here. Maybe they seeded it and then were blowing the sidewalks off and blew too hard right here and blew that seed back away. Maybe water could have washed it away, a heavy downpour. There's many things that could have happened to this area right here, but that is the point I'm making. Is one thing you really have to be cautious when you're overseeding Bermuda with ryegrass is you have to really get your coverage right, because you will end up with this splotchy look right here. Now you can see right here, we're right in front of the Prime Steakhouse 21 Main. Now you can see this little bit of ryegrass right here. This looks really good. Now this is still, this isn't even in the ballpark of being dark green like I prefer ryegrass. That GCI ryegrass is super dark green, and it will dog this. Oh, here's a great example of why leaf removal is so incredibly important. All right, look, see my green grass over there, and it gets over here where the leaves have just smothered it. You can see the ryegrass where they actually planted it. But that rye is just super thin all through here. Those leaves are choking it to death. Now, if you ever wanted to see that process of how to take a yard, turn it into Bermuda, and then overseed it with cool season ryegrass in the fall, that way you have green grass in the summer from the Bermuda and green grass in the winter from the rye, and then flip-flop the two during the seasons and maintain one particular way, because you have to maintain Bermuda totally completely different than rye, and then you maintain rye the other way. If you want to see that process, you're in the right spot, because I'm going to show it to you from start to finish. Now another cool thing is you're going to get in this process is both the Bermuda and the ryegrass all year. I'm going to reel mow it. You know, I've kind of recently caught the reel mowing bug, and I'm going to purchase an Allet mower. I should have it maybe by the end of next week, and I'm going to show you a commercial grade Allet mower, and I'm going to show you a homeowner version battery powered Allet mower, which is super cool for homeowners. So I got all that coming in the mix, and then you're going to get to watch me learn how to reel mow. I'm not a reel mowing expert. I've grown tall fescue for years and Bermuda grass on athletic fields and residentials for years, and all of that has been cut with rotary type mower. You know, blades do this, not this. And so the reel mowing thing is going to be brand new to me. and you're going to get to watch me learn how to do it. You're going to get to watch me screw up, and you're going to get to watch me make yards look good with it. So hey, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time today. And I'm going to go get my wife and son. We're going to go get a little something to eat, and I will check you later. See you in the next video.